Good morning, everybody. Ready to take care of your warm up, right? Exercise that brain, right? It's like anything else. You exercise it, you get strong and healthy. You want to be strong and healthy in math? Do that warm up every day. Challenge yourself. I got some challenge problems for you here today, right? Hopefully, you are up for the challenge. You up for the challenge today? All right, let's go check it out. Copy this down after you press pause. Go try these out. Come back if you need hints, and then definitely come back and check your answers at the end, okay? All right, see you in a bit. Woohoo! Look at all these kids ready for the challenge. We need a cowbell in this one. All right, good job. All right, here we go. I don't know if you noticed, just like yesterday, the sum of all the diamonds are the same. All right, this time it's 22, 22, but the products are different. Okay, so what will work here? I know that like 10 plus 12 equals 22. And when I do 10 times 12, I get 120. That is not either of the products. So what will work here? Let's see. 40. That's it, huh? I think I see it. You see it? 2 times 20 is 40, and 2 plus 20 is 22. All right, how about 22 and 96? Anybody figure that one out? 6 times 6 is 36. If I make one of these a 16, then when I do 6 plus 16, I get a sum of 22. And 6 times 16 is 6 tens, which is 60, and 6 sixes, which is 36. And 60 and 36 is, got it. All right, 112 and 22 again. What do we got here? How about 8 and 14? Thursday. I love that word. 8 tens is 80. 8 fours is 32. 80 and 32 is 112. And 8 plus 14 is 22. All right, got 22 again. This time we got 105. Anybody figure this one out? That's 7 15s, right? 7 plus 15 is 22. And 7 tens is 70. 7 fives is 35. 70 and 35, 105. All right, these are all multiplying fractions. And all multiplying fraction problems are what? Hopefully you said easy. Why? Because you don't care about the denominators being the same. You just go straight across this top, straight across the bottom. And the product of 7 and 5, 35. The product of 8 and 6 is 48. Boom, I'm done. Sometimes you have to simplify. Okay, I see that word of. I know it means times. I wrote of. You should too, and then put a big X through it to remind yourself, right? You see the X and you see the of still poking through. That reminds yourself that of means times. I'm going straight across the top. 2 times 4 is 8. 5 times 13 is 65. And you say, Mr. Daniel, you said something about cross-canceling. If you saw a number that fit into both the top and bottom, you can simplify it. 2 fits into 2 and 2 fits into 4, right? What's wrong with that thought? Hopefully you recognize they're both on the top, okay? And 2 fits in 8 and 6, but they're both on the bottom. You have to have one on the top, one on the bottom. Okay, and I'll show you why in a little bit. All right, to the second power, I'm not doing 2 times 6 and 2 times 7, right? I'm going 6 sevenths times 6 sevenths. 6 times itself is 36. 7 times itself is 49. Okay, now the reason it has to be on the top and the bottom, I am gonna cross cancel here because 4 goes into the top over here and the bottom here. So really 4 times 3 is the same as 3 times 4, right? Those are both going to be 12 no matter what, so it doesn't matter which order. Well, it doesn't matter which order. That means that 4 sevenths times 3 eighths is the same as 3 sevenths times 4 eighths. And you recognize that 4 eighths is the same as a half, right? 4 goes into the top once, goes into the bottom twice. So I have 3 times 1 on top, 7 times 2 on the bottom. That's easier. Right? If I can cross cancel, I end up multiplying smaller numbers. And here I ended up multiplying by 1. Here I ended up multiplying by 2. So that's a shortcut for you. It doesn't make too big a difference on this problem because you should know your facts with single digits anyway. But sometimes it really helps. Okay. Now, you can, again, you don't have to rewrite it. You just know that's why it works. You can't just say, I recognize that there's a 4 on the top here and 2 4s on the bottom here. So I'm going to cross that out and put 1 there and 2 there, and then go 1 times 3 and 7 times 2. If you didn't do that, then you ended up going 4 times 3 on top, 7 times 8 on the bottom, and then you're dealing with 12 and 56 and trying to figure out what goes into both. And 56, since it's not a product of 4 that you have memorized, it would be harder to see that, and you would probably have to do this in 2 steps and say, well, 2 goes into 12 6 times, and into that 28 times, and say, whoa, they're both even. I can get another 2 and say 2 goes into 6 3 times and goes into 28 14 times. So you'd probably end up doing more work if you didn't cross cancel to start. Okay. Now, if you recognize that 14 times 4 is 56, then you could do it in 2 steps instead of 3, but here, definitely easier, multiplying 1 times 3 and 2 times 7. All right, on to multiplying fractions again. 24 times 1 on top, 1 times 6 on the bottom. Wait a minute, can't I simplify that? Yeah, 24 is 6 going into that 4 times, so 4 over 1 is the same as 4. 15 divided by 3, that's just 5, right? How many 3's go into 15? 28 times 1 on top, 1 times 7 on the bottom, and wait, 7 goes into the bottom once, but it goes into 28 4 times, so that simplifies to 4. And 20 divided by 4 equals 5. All right, 24 divided by 6, how many 6's fit into 24? Hopefully you knew that was 4. 15 times 1 on top, and 1 times 3 on the bottom, and then I'm going to simplify because 3 goes into 3 once and goes into 15 5 times. So 5 over 1 simplifies to 5. 28 divided by 7 is 4. And 20 times 1 on top, 1 times 4 on the bottom, and 4 goes into the bottom once, 25 times. 5 over 1 simplifies to 5. And you might recognize that you get the same answer on both of these. You get the same answer on both of these, both of these, and both of these. And I'm hoping you recognize that. And I want to look at it a little bit. 24 over 1 times 1 over 6 is the same answer as, what if I put a 1 under, I could put a 1 underneath the whole number. 24 over 1 divided by 6 over 1. So 24 over 1 divided by 6 over 1 is the same as 24 over 1 times 1 over 6. These are the same, but I flipped these. Same idea here. I can put a 1 into these and say 15 over 1 divided by 3 over 1 is the same as 15 over 1 times 1 over 3. So these are the same, but I multiplied by this number, flipped. Same idea here. I can put a 1 under these. These are the same, 28 over 1, but here I had divided by 7 over 1. Here I had times 1 over 7. That number flipped. Gave me the same answer. You scientists in the bunch are saying, and thinking, and I wonder what hypothesis you are coming up with here that we will talk about soon. Okay? How do I divide fractions is what we're talking about. And hopefully we are leading ourselves to how do we divide fractions. All right. Okay. On to find the height. We get the area of these parallelograms. Remember the area of a parallelogram? When I write it on my paper in my composition book, and you should have a page in your composition book where you're writing areas and the formula. How do you get the area of the different shapes? Rectangles, parallelograms, triangles, trapezoids. Okay. The area, when I write it, the formula using just the letters, A, big A means area, just equals the base times the height. And remember, the base is down here. The height is the line that goes straight up and down. Okay? So same idea here. So this should be 12 times the height equals the area. Well, 12 times the height equals the area. The area is 60. What is the height? 12 times what is 60? What's 60 divided by 12? 5. And that's going to be 5 meters, not square meters. The area is square meters. The height and the base are not. So the height equals 5 meters there. Okay? And what I didn't show you is that we had h times 12 equals 60, and I wanted the h by itself, so I divided this side by 12. And if I divide that side by 12, I had to divide this side by 12. So my equation stayed in balance, and then I end up with h equals 60 divided by 12, which is 5. Here, 7 times the height, or the height times 7 equals 77. Now, if I want to get the h by itself, I have to divide this side by 7. And if I do it to that side, do the same thing to the other side. And what's the height going to be here? Hopefully we figured out 11 inches. Okay. Okay, now this is tricky. Don't forget, what's the most popular thing to do wrong when someone gets the area of a triangle? They think the base times the height, and they forget to cut it in half. Remember, a triangle is half of a parallelogram, right? If I were to clone this triangle, put one upside down there, this 25 would be up here now, and this 16 would be over here, and the area of that parallelogram is just 25 times the h, right? So 25 times the h would be double this, right? Because I just want one of those. So I have to figure out what number times 25 divided by 2 is 150. Okay, so that's getting tricky. Okay, that would mean that 25 times this would be double that, right? Because I didn't cut it in half yet. So h times 25 would be double that. That's 300. So the height must be, how do I get rid of that times 25? Divided by 25. If I divide that by 25, I got to divide this by 25. And then I have h equals 300 divided by 25. Well, that's basically saying how many quarters fit into $3. 25, 50, 75, 1. 25, 50, 75, 2. 25, 50, 75, 3. So I got 3 sets of 4. That's 12. The height must be 12. I get rid of that pen. It's not working, is it? Okay. Now let's just double check. If that height was 12, I would do half of the height times the, and that'd be 6 times 25, 150. We got it. All right. Tricky one, huh? Another tricky one, same idea. We're doing a triangle again. I know the area is 220. I know the base is 22. So I'm going to go 22 times the h. Okay. And I'm going to divide this by 2 equals the area. So that equals 220. I'm going to go ahead and divide the 22. I'm going to do the 22 divided by 2, and that means 11, right? The height times 11 is 220. Okay, how do I get rid of that? Times 11 divided by 11. If I do it to one side, do it to the other, they cancel out. What's 22 divided by 11? The height equals 20 centimeters. Did I challenge you? Did I stump you? I hope I stumped you on one of these, right? If I stumped you on one of these, that's mean you're working hard and we're stretching your abilities, right? So watch this. Make sure you understand it. If you don't, make sure you're asking questions, okay? But you shouldn't have an easy time on every warm-up. If you have an easy time on every warm-up, I'm not challenging you enough, right? I should stump you with one problem every warm-up, right? Okay. And that's how you learn. That's how you get stronger. We'll see you tomorrow.